It's Bob and Tom Tonight, starring Chick McGee, Kristi Lee, Josh Arnold, Ace Cosby, Pat Godwin, Willie Griswold, and Tom Griswold. But, who knew?
Hello, Bob and Tom Show.
Well, this is Dick Hitswater sitting in for Helen Highwater. And this is a President's Day special report brought to you by Some Other News. Well, here are a few facts about previous presidents of the United States that you may not be familiar with. Before becoming president, Gerald Ford was scheduled to become the third Darren on the 60s TV sitcom Bewitched.
Who knew?
Bewitched.
Andrew Jackson was named Old Hickory because of the huge prosthetic wooden phallus that he always kept stuffed in his trousers.
Oh, I didn't know that.
The teddy bear was famously created after Theodore Roosevelt refused to shoot a helpless bear cub, and as we learned earlier, he prefers knives. Hungry Hippo was created after watching William Howard Taft plow through breakfast at a Washington, D.C. IHOP restaurant.
Oh, he was at the IHOP.
Right there on the teleprompter. Well, this is Dick Hitswater sitting in for Helen Highwater, and this has been a President's Day special report brought to you by Some Other News.
Thank you, Dick.
At least it was brief.
Okay, it's time now to put on your thinking caps, ladies and gentlemen, because...
Are we having a quiz?
that's right, we are having a quiz.
I don't like pop quizzes.
This thinking cap never comes off, my friend.
Okay, well, very good.
Always working, right? Always thinking.
Pat, can you play me the presidential theme song, please? What country is that, the president?
Well, yeah,
Romania.
it's our President's
Don't have
Day.
Hail to the Chief?
No, I don't know that one. Jeez, you don't know Hail to the Chief?
You know, like 3 pop songs. Give me a break.
He's got to put a cape on his keyboard. Hang on.
How about anything American? I'm proud to be an American. American woman.
Yankee Doodle? Can you play Yankee Doodle?
Yankee Doodle had a hat, wore a hat. He was president.
Yeah, this is perfect.
America the Beautiful. You got anything?
No.
President.
There you go.
There we go. Thank you.
There's the original.
All right,
as you
here we
can
go.
tell. Little bassy. Oh.
Ace, we'll start with you on this one. Contrary to what some believe, his nickname was not Hot Rod.
Oh.
What is the question?
Hot Rod.
It's easy.
I have no idea. President.
Somebody
president.
Who is Franklin Delano Roosevelt?
That was
Hot and drive. That's not funny.
That was Hot Wheels.
We got wheels, baby.
Well, but that's what...
Or as Dick Hitswater called him, Roosevelt.
That's an age teller.
Hot Rod.
President Roosevelt.
It was not Abraham Hot Rod Lincoln.
Oh, okay.
that's a good one.
Okay. All right.
Who
God.
was it?
Wait a minute. That's the answer? Hot Rod Lincoln?
Hot Rod Lincoln?
It was even
Boy, these are
these-
jokes that Tom
so
will
did you
love.
just
Go
make
ahead.
these up?
His nickname was not Hot Rod. Okay, Kristi. I'll give this one to you.
Wait a minute. So we don't have an answer.
Yes, it was Lincoln. Hot Rod Lincoln.
These are all. We're just
making up-
pawns, so he can tell these awful jokes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, go on.
Go ahead. Wait a minute. Time now for another question in our quiz.
What's
Again,
this?
contrary to popular belief,
Yes.
this president never owned a dry cleaning shop.
Never owned a dry cleaner.
Well, now think about
and
it.
had a friend.
What does he think
And
is
had
funny?
never met a friend named Archie Bunker.
Martinizing or something.
I'm thinking China,
Martin
something
Van Buren.
Asian.
There we go.
Martin Van Buren.
Jefferson. Of course, George Jefferson.
Oh, the Jeffersons neighbor, yeah. The Jeffersons were
dry cleaning shop. Music, please.
Oh, my
Wow.
Music, please.
This will save it.
This one's for Josh.
Okay. Oh, boy. These aren't easy.
He's enjoying this very much.
He's famous as president for moving kind of slow.
Moving kind of slow.
But he was not from a place known as Petticoat Junction.
Oh, my gosh.
I want to think fat joke could be happening here, like a Taft maybe, or a Milton maybe.
Slow.
Joe, Uncle Joe, is there a
Very
Joe?
good. Portrayed by... Jeez.
Oh, Edgar Buchanan.
Edgar Buchanan, as opposed to President James Buchanan. Music.
Next.
This is an easy one. I'll give it to Willie.
Okay, go ahead.
Wait a minute.
Thank you. That's saving this bit.
It actually is.
Okay, Ringo's favorite president.
Ringo's favorite president. Could it be a star joke? Could it be a drummer joke?
Ringo's favorite president.
I don't know. I got nothing.
Benjamin Harrison.
That would.
Because George Harrison was in the Beatles?
Yes.
Are you just making these up?
That doesn't even make sense.
That makes zero sense.
No. Did anybody write this?
It's tenuous.
Was George Harrison
How about this
Ringo's
one?
favorite Beatle?
No.
They never got along, is what I
They
heard.
fought constantly.
Okay, how about this one?
That could have been anything.
This is for you, Kristi.
Wait a minute.
If they make a movie of his life, he would, by all rights, be played by Adam Sandler. Oh. Which president would that be?
I think I've got a guess.
Who is that, Josh?
Madison?
Of course.
Happy Madison.
Music and please.
Billy Madison. All right.
Terrible.
I'll give this one to Chick McGee. This president was part of a group that owned a Major League Baseball team, but his own baseball skills put him in this league.
George Bush. It's the Bush League.
Minor league?
Who was Bush? You see, Bush.
Yeah, Bush League.
Wasn't a great player himself. Just had a lot of money.
I didn't think we were doing anything that current. President since Willie's been alive. Was Bush president when you were born?
No, man. Bush Sr. was. And then, yeah.
All right.
And now, here's the last one. Music. Kristi?
Yes.
There is no evidence that this president came up with a famous liver pill.
Liver pill?
Okay, no
Was
one
Gerald
knows.
Ford?
No one knows.
That's a funny answer.
No, Tom,
Thank
you
you,
must
Josh.
realize at some point, just because you know it doesn't mean everyone. Carter's liver pills.
Well,
See, Gerald Ford's
1932.
funnier
Is your joke
because-
Betty Ford?
Yes.
She's boozing too much?
Betty
I like that
Ford.
too. That's
Yeah.
very funny.
Can you still get Carter's? Have the FDA can't come down on them finally?
That was a long time ago.
Today is President's Day.
That's right here,
And
Tom.
we haven't really done much celebrating of President's Day today, but
Are you kidding me? What about your great quiz?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Which is...
Hello, Bob and Tom Show.
Well, this is Dick Hitswater sitting in once again for Helen Highwater, and this is a President's Day special report brought to you by Some Other News. Now, here we go. Here are a few more facts about previous presidents of the United States that you may not be familiar yet, with. For sheer numbers of strippers being hustled in and out of the White House, nobody topped Warren G. Harding.
Is that right?
who knew?
Yes. About once a month, Harry Truman would get into the cooking sherry and then head for the train yards where he would challenge every hobo he encountered to a dance-off.
How strange.
He killed him with the Macarena. Millard Fillmore often lifted his waistcoat during speeches to show off his incredible abs, causing women in the audience to suffer a case of the vapors.
Okay.
Grover Cleveland had his Inauguration Day parade rerouted so that it would go past an old girlfriend's house. and he reportedly yelled out, "How you like me now, biatch? Come on."
That's what he yells?
No.
Apparently.
Way before his time.
Did you see Ace's draw drop?
Yeah, I did.
Benjamin Harrison was known as Benji Balls because of his grapefruit-sized testicles.
Oh, how about that?
Wow. Well, this is Dick Hitswater. I'm totally embarrassed. Sitting for Helen Highwater, and this has been a President's Day special report brought to you by none other than Some Other News.
Oh,
Thank you very much, Dick.
very nice.
I promised a surprise. And look at the screen.
Yeah.
And
Oh, my gosh.
This is a surprise.
Holy hell.
It's Monday. You're freaking me out.
now, ordinarily on Fridays we have Jeff Oskay, a comedian,
Right.
with his unusual feature known as News We Failed to Mention.
Right.
Now, today we have a very special episode of News We Failed to Mention with, Jeff, do you want to introduce it?
Yeah, Dick Hitswater gives you a lot of presidential facts, but he doesn't give you all the presidential facts. So I'm here to give you the presidential facts Dick Hitswater failed to mention.
Okay. Just a a straight plane.
Chester A. Arthur loved the outdoors. What you failed to mention, his favorite outdoor activity, catching and eating bees.
How strange.
William McKinley was the first president to ride in an automobile. What you failed to mention, he also created the bumper sticker, ass, gas, or grass, no one rides for free.
I did not know that.
Nobody.
Franklin Pierce was considered a looker in his day. As Kristi mentioned earlier, what you failed to mention, he was the only president to win RuPaul's Drag Race. RuPaul's Drag Race. John Tyler was a pool hustler. What you failed to mention, he made so much money hustling pool that he was able to buy Texas from Mexico and still have cash left over for 3 chalupas.
Very nice.
3 chalupas. James Knox Polk was the first person ever to put round circles of contrasting colors onto fabric. What you failed to mention, that's how the polka dot came about.
Oh, no.
Polka dot.
Polka dot.
Okay.
I got it.
Hitswater turned that one down.
Yeah, I should have too. John Adams wrote thousands of love letters to his wife during his presidency. What you failed to mention, I found it odd that the salutation on every letter began, "Dear Penthouse." William Howard Taft's guilty pleasure was eating saltwater taffy. What you failed to mention, he once petitioned Congress to legally change the name to saltwater tafty.
Taffy. They liked it so much.
Taffy.
Wanted it named after it. Congress said no.
Another Hitswater reject.
Yeah. Martin Van Buren refused to travel. What you failed to mention, it was because he was unable to poop anywhere but the outhouse behind the Oval Office.
Oh, I see.
He was an at-home crapper.
Right.
On the road.
Oh, this will go well. Grover Cleveland's real name is not Grover, it's Stephen. What you failed to mention, he decided to change his name from Stephen to Grover after attending the premiere of Under Siege. Not a fan of Skull.
Yeah.
Not a fan of...
No one really is these days. Honestly, though, one of his finest movies.
Yeah. Every 2 weeks, Harry Truman cashed his presidential paycheck at a local convenience store. What you failed to mention, he'd blow the majority of it on Slim Jim and Powerball tickets.
Oh.
Not everyone knew that. And finally, during his presidency, Dwight Eisenhower and Mamie?
Yeah.
Mamie?
Mamie.
It's definitely Mamie.
Definitely Mamie.
We're going with Mamie.
No Mamie.
During his presidency, Dwight Eisenhower and Mamie Eisenhower took a brief separation from their marriage. What you failed to mention, during the separation, Mamie briefly dated and got matching tats with Pete Davidson. I've been Jeff Oskay, and this is presidential news that you failed to mention.
There you go. Boy, that Pete Davidson's dated everybody.
That is just amazing.
That's how he gets
Well, I
around.
hear he's
What?
You know what?
huge.
Got a big donger?
Yeah.
I'm fairly, socio-progressive, I
Right?
like to think. But him and his nail polish gives me the creeps to no end.
Really? You
Have you
don't like
seen
a
the
guy?
commercial? He's holding a bottle of water. He's got that black nail polish.
Yeah.
Like my grandfather just comes out and he goes, what the hell are you doing? Nail polish is for girls. I can't stand it.
Well, you know who
it's so
didn't,
gross.
You know who did like it? Mamie Eisenhower.
Happy President's Day, everybody.
Yeah, thank you.
You have a favorite president?
Washington.
Sure.
It's an easy answer, obviously.
Well,
Do you have
know
a
what I
favorite?
start thinking? Like the presidents. Oh, I'm sorry, Kristi.
No, go ahead.
No, I just start thinking like the greatest presidents. We celebrate President's Day after the greatest presidents we've ever had, but I don't think they could make it today.
Oh.
You know, like I don't think George Washington could face our press in this day and age. You know, and he's up there trying to run and talk to all the reporters, and they're like, yes, Mr. President Washington or whatever. You said you were 6 when you cut down a cherry tree, and when your dad asked you if you did it, you said you did because you couldn't tell a lie. Really? Are those your real teeth? I don't think so. I think they're made from that poor tree that didn't give you consent to cut it down. Plus, it's been reported that you were throwing money into the Delaware. Is that right? Because that's not just wasteful. It's worse. It's littering. Plus, you look like the guy on the money. Hell, why don't we just name the city after you? I mean, if that's the case, we might as well just name the football team after you. All right. Well, it was real funny when I wrote it by myself. I got Lincoln, too, but I'm kind of scared to try it.
Well, first of all, I mean, George Washington is this is true. This is a true fact. George Washington is the only president of the United States who did not blame the previous president's administration for all of his problems.
Sure was.
Did you know that? It's actual fact.
He did. And he also stepped down. Instead of, people talk about term limits now. He was like, I'm out. If it's not, right. He did 2 terms and that was it. And he could have kept going. He also was the only president during that time that released all of his slaves and then paid them until the day that he died to make up for it.
All I remember was that he was considered to be the greatest horseman in the country. And I've also read that when in battle, the bullets would be flying and he would just ride directly in.
Yeah. He really would go first, right?
Yeah, that's confidence.
Yeah, but how many horses were, around then? I mean, or people who rode horses? Probably like 7
And he
or 8
married
guys.
for money. That's all I remember.
Yeah.
Well,
he was a genuine. He was a war hero. He almost 2 times we probably would have lost if he wouldn't have stayed in the battles. Like he was a legitimate war hero.
Yeah, well,
one of the greatest generals of all time. But people don't talk about it.
You want to tackle Abraham Lincoln? Do you?
I mean, I'll give it a shot. These were so funny last night when I was sitting there writing them, and then I said them in front of you. My wife just laughs at my stuff, so I stopped talking. I'm like, you really have to listen to this. Is it funny or not? Oh yeah, it's great. It's great.
Wait
a
minute. What does she do again? So you stop talking? What is that?
She laughs at my. Oh, I see.
Okay.
Yeah, that's sweet.
See what I did there?
Yes. So now, if we laugh at these jokes. Is that okay?
Right,
now I feel bad. I don't want to laugh. So you think that we don't want you to keep going.
Do the Lincoln.
Go ahead.
All right. Mr. Lincoln, I'm going to do it.
It's the press conference. I forgot. Press conference scenario once again.
Mr. President Lincoln or whatever, your wife clearly is crazier than your hat maker. Do you really think it's a good idea to keep taking her to the theater? And is there any way you could please make her keep her mask on? I heard that when she was asked for a vaccine card, she used her smallpox. Your wife laughed at that, didn't she?
Your wife giggled at that?
So she's a drinker.
She's a keeper.
Well. Let me tell you something. She is a drinker. Loves you.
That's going to be a good marriage.
My God.
Reno, we have shows this weekend we're trying to put.
You're not going to open with that, are you?
I'm opening with Abraham Lincoln at a press conference.
Okay, here we go. Back to George Washington. We have George Washington's rye whiskey is now available.
You're the only one that cared about this.
Yes.
Oh, this is exciting.
No, it's not. You don't even drink.
Exciting. Yes, but I mean, in honor of General Washington, I'm going to buy. Wait a minute, $98. Well.
Oh,
this better be distilled through Martha's panties.
You obviously haven't bought a nice bourbon lately.
Oh, man.
Distilled they're all pretty hot.
Yeah. This is based on he was a distiller back in the day. And they're doing the same techniques, and you can buy this if you go to mountvernon.org.
Boy.
It's even a .org.
Wow.
Well, that just means
it's old.
Yeah, no, .org usually means it's very boring. And somehow it's going to cost me money.
The legacy of the greatest general and our first president, they're using it to sell booze.
Yep.
This is America, for God's sake.
I know, we rule. Number one.
Wow. And who was, I wish Dean were here, didn't one of the presidents grow a lot of hemp on their farm?
I think Washington.
I think it was Washington.
It was Washington. They still have at Mount Vernon. They still have like the jars and stuff where they used to keep everything.
And wasn't he like 6'3", 250? Wasn't he like a linebacker basically?
He was he was very tall. I don't know if he was 6'3", but he was extraordinarily tall for the time.
They wore heels too.
They kind of did.
They did wear heels and wigs.
Yeah, well, Reno, it's always a great pleasure. And we'll.
Is it?
Well,
This is Reno. This is obviously a common courtesy in speech.
You've had a great segment. It wasn't this one, but you've had it.
Funny.
you know
That's a
what?
big
You know what
jump.
my favorite part about this is? Reno is trying to be so sincere and play along because he thinks his segment's the worst from this morning, and he wants us to have him back. Not even close.
No.
Yeah, no.
This is probably the most we've laughed all morning.
Yes. There you go.
Okay, Reno. See you this weekend. Thank you very
Bye,
much.
Yeah,
Reno.
thanks, you guys. Have a great week. I promise the show's a lot better than this.
No, of course it would have to be.
Watch the entire show live or on demand at bobandtom.com or listen live with the Bob and Tom app. And be sure to tune in next time for more Bob and Tom Tonight.